It's time to reconnect to your inner child. In this society, we've been taught to disconnect from our true selves, to disconnect from our intuition, to disconnect from our inner child. And what do you see when you walk outside, when you really open your eyes in this society? You see people who are deteriorated children, because we all have an inner child inside. We all have this inner kid within. We have multiple parts. You also have an inner teenager inside. But it's important to connect to those younger aspects of you, because that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps you going. That's what gives you the energy to create things, because your inner child is creative. It's unlimited. As a child, you wasn't overthinking everything. You wasn't second guessing everything. You had curiosity. You were exploring things. You were creating things. You were building things, and you had fun. So it's time to return back to fun, because when you connect back to fun, when you connect back to what's actually giving you energy, that's when life feels more expansive. That's when life feels more alive. And that's where you have more joy. And when you connect to the energy of joy, you are in tune with spirit. You are in spirit. You are inspired. And when you're inspired, you start to create things out of this inspiration. And you can be inspired by anything and everything in any given moment. It just takes a conscious act of reconnecting to yourself. So how do you do that? Ask yourself, what is it that I actually enjoy? And even if you just do it for a few minutes every day, because I know everyone's busy. You probably got responsibilities like we all do. Maybe you have children. Maybe you have to take care of your parents who can't take care of themselves anymore. Maybe you work a 60-hour shift. I don't know what it is, man. But you got to find the time to do what you love, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, even if it's just 2 minutes. If you don't have 2 minutes, I don't know what to tell you, because this video is already taking 2 minutes. So you could have taken this time that you invested right now into this video to create something for yourself. Get what I'm saying? And I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for watching this. But my message is just to take time consciously every day to create something for yourself. Because if you start with 2 minutes, it sounds ridiculous. You might think to yourself, somebody's coming through. I'm just out here chilling, I'm on a holiday right now, but I felt like bringing this message to you. So, and we keep it going. So if you take 2 minutes to reconnect to yourself, and to just be with yourself and to create something that you want to create. Maybe something you've been wanting to create for years. Something that your inner child wanted, or something that you wanted to do as a child that you weren't allowed to do. Then if you take that time, you will create the momentum to actually create more of it. Because those 2 minutes, you might think to yourself, man, I don't have 2 minutes. I can't take 2 minutes and paint like a big painting. Of course, you're not going to create the Mona Lisa in 2 minutes, but you can start. You can start with the first brush. Of course, you're probably not going to write a full song in 2 minutes, but you can write that first line. Of course, you're not going to record a full song in 2 minutes, but you can record the first line, Whatever it is that you want to do, give yourself 2 minutes. Start with that. Do it daily. And the funny thing is that when you start with 2 minutes, you will want to do more. You will want to create more. You will want to express more, but you have to tap into that energy first, because this is something that blocked me for a long time, because I'm an artist, and there was a time where I just prioritized everything else and abandoned my artistry, and I felt like I don't have the time for it. I always gave myself the time, but not as regularly as I used to. And I noticed how I kind of fell into this trap of being an adult and having to take care of anything else. And I am an adult, but I allow my inner child to play, and I realized, man, I'm just excusing myself. So I just started, for example, the guitar. I always, for almost a year, told myself I don't have the time to do it, because all the pros play 2 hours a day minimum, And of course, as a pro, you have to get to that level where you play a lot. But I told myself, you know what? I just want to start playing the guitar. So let me start with a little bit. Let me take 10 minutes, I can do 10 minutes a day. And now I can play songs. Now I wrote my own songs. Now I know how to play the basic chords. I'm not an expert. There's still more to create, to learn. But I can now take that and put it into my own art. And now can take that and have fun with it, because the most rewarding thing was just the fun of being in the moment and playing and not overthinking, just allowing myself to do it. So just give yourself the time to create something and to connect to your inner child and allow your inner child to play, because the more you allow it to play, the better relationship with it starts to become. And when the relationship with the inner child starts to strengthen, it's also sharpening your intuition. It's also sharpening your creative energy in all other aspects of your area, in your life, all other areas of your life. It also brings out more of the real you, your energy, your essence. And you then bring that to your family, you then bring that to your job, and then that draining job is also not as draining anymore because you are connected to your essence. You know you have something else that there's to live for, you know you have something else that you can look forward to. You know there's something else that you're creating. And if you have a dream, a vision inside of you, and we all do, I'm not saying that you have to be this, aim for to be this super famous or super rich person, but whatever it is that your soul is calling you to, it's important to follow that. Because when you stop following it, the day you stop following it, and the more days you wait on, the more days you wait to follow it again, or to tell yourself that it's not possible, the longer you wait, the bigger this pain grows. But if you just start again today by creating something, even if it's just a plan, it doesn't have to be something artistry wise. You don't have to paint something or make music. It was just an example. Maybe you have a desire to build a big business. I don't know what it is, but be true to yourself and ask yourself, what is it that my soul wants? And then start taking aligned action with it. Because guess what? If you just write it down and you think it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. Some people out there tell you just got to write things down and lean back and it's all just going to fall into your lap. Some things, I agree, the universe can give you for free. It's doing it all the time. You don't have to do everything by your own, but you have to be willing to cooperate, because you are a co-creator and you should never forget the co in it. So you co-create with the creator. So you have to cooperate with the creator. And if you don't cooperate, it's not going to happen, or at least it's not going to keep on happening. So take some time for yourself and connect to your inner child and allow your inner child to play. And the more you do this, the more things start to flow, the more synchronicities will show up, the more you just enjoy this experience of life. And life, of course, there's suffering, but suffering is not meant to be there all the time. Maybe there's seasons of suffering. And often when you elevate to a higher state of consciousness, you realize that suffering is often self-inflicted in your thoughts, in your attitude, how you see life. So get out of that excuse to tell yourself you don't have the time, and just start creating and just start using the time you have and allow your inner child to play. So I hope this was helpful. I know it was a bit loud, people were driving by, but I wanted to keep it real and just in the moment. So I thank you for tapping in. If this resonated with you, I'm also hosting another round of my From Stuck to Flow workshop this Sunday on June 28th. So this is where we go into depth on how to break out of limiting patterns, how to reconnect to yourself, how to take aligned action so that you can start following what your soul is calling you to. Because I see a lot of people just being stuck in this matrix, so to say, where they don't learn to go after what they want to. So if you've seen this before June 28th, and if it aligns with your time, if this calls you to it, then you can sign up for free in the link in the description or in the bio. And I thank you for your time. I thank you for listening. I am La Heru, and this is the Way of Law. One love.